Welcome back, everybody. Today is day 6 of our Western Caribbean cruise on the Norwegian Viva. Our port is Costa Maya.
So we got up early that day. We got down there early to get off the boat, get ready for our excursion, and we had to wait. So we hung out a while, played with the butterflies. And then out onto the dock. And that was a long dock.
It's a long dock and it was windy.
It was windy. We had really good weather for the whole trip except for that day and that whole day, that evening when we were in Costa Maya. I was trying to get the waves, busting up on the rocks. Somebody's standing out there waiting to get busted up on the rocks. So we got to the end of the dock and we found our little line that we were supposed to stay in for a while. Line us up to get ready to go get on the buses for the trip to the Mayan ruins.
Some Mayan dancers showed us
how they could jiggle their feathers.
Jiggle their feathers.
Oh, they were getting after it, beating the drums and dancing in their awesome costumes. And then we went and got on the bus. And we sat there on the bus a while, and finally somebody comes in and says they're having some problems.
There were issues with the road, and so we're going to wait another 15 minutes. And so we waited another 15 or 30 minutes.
We waited a while.
We signed our waivers.
We did. They did have us sign the waivers, even though they knew we weren't going. And I wish they would have stopped us sooner and told us sooner that the locals were blocking the road because cruise ship drama hadn't repaired the roads, something that they had promised to build, and so locals were out there. And I don't know what they were doing, but they were blocking the roads and having a protest. And wish they would have told us that from the start so that we could plan something else. All of a sudden, it was just, hey everybody, sorry we can't go, blah, blah, blah. And we get off the buses and walk back into the cruise port.
There's not a lot to do outside of the port except for the excursions that you have planned. A lot of them are to the Mayan ruins.
So we went shopping, and yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. And if you look hard enough, you can find some more local stuff and not just your typical touristy stuff.
We found a store called Artesiana Mexicana. It had a lot of different items from around Mexico. I found the prettiest nativity scene. I love nativities. It doesn't matter what it is, I love it. But this one happened to be blue and white, and I love blue. They also had some really cool blue dishes, and I had to send a picture to my mom because that's where I get the loving blue part from.
And we just walked around checking things out. They have huge pools there. There's pools in the front, there's pools in the back.
The main attraction is these guys swinging from a pole. There's 4 guys up at the top of this pole. They climb up, they're attached to ropes on their ankles. They come down and it rotates and it unwinds them 13 times to go with the revolutions of the earth. So 13 times 4 guys is 52, so you get a whole solar year. And they just go down and down, and one guy's playing a little drum and the flute at the same time while they're all hanging upside down, unwinding down to the ground.
So while you're there watching them, there's a guy walking around asking for tips.
Before they even start,
Yeah.
He's asking for tips.
There's a lot of people that gather up, and then they do it, and then they do it again, and they do it again. They just, I don't know how many times a day they do that, but they did it over and over while we were there.
And then they'll stand and take pictures, and you can pay them for the pictures as well if you want to take pictures with the guy.
So we just walked around a while, and I have never seen so many places to get a massage. Oh my gosh, they practically are dragging you into the buildings to give you a massage. Maybe I just looked very tight that day because I wasn't very happy about not going to the Mayan ruins. They're like, oh my gosh, that guy needs a massage. They were coming from everywhere.
You turn a corner and somebody else is standing there. Would you like a massage? Here's our prices.
Yeah, wow, lots of places. And there were plenty of people getting massages. Probably all the other intense people that didn't go to the Mayan ruins that day. So while we were wandering around the port, they had a little pool full of flamingos. And everybody's walking out and taking their pictures. And it's really cool. You're right there next to them. Well, I noticed when I walked up really close to the edge and was taking their pictures, they started acting up. And they started running around and fighting. And they kept running up in front of me and sticking their heads up as high as they could.
They're really tall.
They are really tall. I'm 6'4", and they were trying to stretch up taller than me. And I noticed that, and I said to Carrie, I said, look, they're intimidated by me. And she's like, really? She says,
I said, go back there behind the pole.
yeah, go hide, see what they do. So I walked away and I hid behind this little brick wall, and
they just calmed down. As soon as he went away, they just went and just went back to eating and wandering around, and no posturing, nothing. They didn't like his height right there next to them.
No, they didn't.
They didn't mind my height.
We were having our little flamingo fun there while all the other tourists were completely oblivious to while we were giggling about everything. So anyway, we decided to go back to the ship and spend the day on the ship doing all the things that we haven't done yet. They did have a shuttle there, but I only saw one big shuttle. And they would sit there and wait a long time to fill up. So if you want to get that shuttle, if you get on it and you're the first people on it, they're going to be waiting a long time before they fill it up with a bunch of people and head out. So most people are just walking because of that. The waves were starting to pick up, the wind was blowing, and I was getting some pictures of the waves smacking up against the ship. And then we headed up to cool off.
We got these cool fans that they're magnetic, and so we stuck them to the ceiling. We each had one on each side of our bed, and we just laid there and pointed them at us and cooled off for a little bit and relaxed.
So the AC in the ship works great. And as we mentioned in another video, we had ours turned up really cold. But these fans were an extra bonus.
They have a remote too.
Yeah, those were really nice. And then we went to lunch.
So we headed up to the buffet and sat next to a celebrity ship and had this really cool gorilla on it with a surfboard. And so many people were walking around taking pictures with it. We were thoroughly entertained. So we headed up to deck 18, and first thing we did was tea time. It's the mini golf aboard the Viva. And usually the ball will record your scores as you hit it, but it was down that day, so we didn't have to pay for it. So it was kind of cool, but we had to, keep our own score.
Come on, get in there. Oh, the ship rocked right at that point. I saw it.
It was a lot of fun. It was 9 holes, a lot of different themes at each hole, of course, like any miniature golf course. We had a lot of fun. I'm pretty sure I beat you.
I think you did.
Maybe.
Oh.
So then, right next to that, we went to the Bullseye, which is where you can throw darts and they have electronic games you can play. And even though I whooped her at the mini golf, she whooped me every time at darts. I think it was a little bit biased because Several of your darts fell out on the floor, and it was still like
No
you
pressure.
still scored more than me somehow.
It's a really cool area. They've got a couch that you can sit in between throwing your darts, and then it seats up to 6 people. It's a timed session. I think it was 30 minutes for the one we purchased. So it is extra. Just keep that in mind when you go up there.
I've never had so much fun throwing darts before. Who knew?
Our arms hurt a lot the next day.
Oh my goodness, yes. We're like, why is his arm so sore? So then we went to the go-kart track.
Viva Speedway. We'd been wanting to do this since day one. We just hadn't had the time to do it.
We went up there a couple times and it was closed.
Yeah.
But we went there and the line to get in is in this little covered place. It's open on both ends of the ship, but there's just no airflow in there. And so we sat there and sweat.
It was warm.
It was hot. Oh my gosh, I almost left. It was so hot. And then they take us up top and they put us through the ringer, and we were
Put us through the ringer.
back in the USA
we had the
again.
instructions. This is the do's and don'ts.
Yeah, sign your life away with a little waiver. And they told us exactly what to do, what not to do, how to work it. They told us, only passing on the left for the faster people, and it's not about racing each other. It's about racing the time.
It's the fastest lap is who wins.
Yeah.
Okay. Another thing, guys. Remember that bumping, drifting, and crashing is also forbidden, either if you're bumping to the sides of the truck or to each other. That will be another reason for the marshals to send you back to the pits. Okay, so just try to keep some distance between your cart and the cart in front of you, and you guys will be fine. Remember, the winner will be the person with the fastest lap, not the person who get back to the pits first. Okay, you are racing against the time, not against each other. I want to make that clear. Okay.
But when there's other people in your way, it's all about racing each other because you got to get around them, right? So we took off.
I was in front of him. I was third or fourth in line.
She was right in front of me, and we get out, and it goes slow for a minute, and then it just takes off. Boom. And she took off, and she's just passing people, and she didn't care which side she's passing on. She's like, boom, boom, boom.
I was like, passed on the left every time.
Depending on which way the was turning. So I got to catch up. I'm like, okay, here we go. Ooh, and I followed her through everybody. And then I finally was able to pass her after a while. She was getting it. I was very impressed. I was like, that's my woman. Finally able to pass her, and I took off. I had several laps just by myself, and then I started lapping everybody else. Anyway, so the last lap comes around, and I catch up to Carrie again.
It is a very tight corner. Very tight.
Don't make excuses.
And I didn't slow down.
They said, don't run into each other. I'm trying to pass her, and guess who puts me into the wall? Boom! We hit the wall so hard and so tight, they shut everything down, and they could not get our go-karts apart. We were stuck, and they were trying, and it took a long time for them to unhook us.
Got it finally done.
Nobody else knows what's going on.
Because no one is with us.
They're scattered around
all over
3 stories of track.
They just shut down all of them at the same time.
Yeah. So they're just waiting out in the hot sun for them to untangle our carts because she wasn't about to get lapped again.
I had no idea he was there. It was the first corner that I didn't check over my shoulder, and there he was. So, yeah. And then we got unstuck, and that was the end of it. We ended up at the end again. But it was really fun. Oh, that is extra as well. You do have to pay extra. I think it was $15 per person. So.
Yeah.
But it was well worth it.
See? Speed demon.
Yeah, so after that, we wandered around deck 8. That deck, you can walk all the way around it. It has the ocean walk, which is really cool and kind of scary. But I did a lot better this time on this one.
By this time, we were underway. So we're cruising across the ocean, and this is our roughest seas yet.
Oh yeah.
Our whole trip was beautiful, and these are our roughest seas, and they're still not very rough. But as we're down there on this ocean walk, we're looking down into the water, and you can see all these flying fish coming out of the water and scooting away from the boat. And I tried to get some video of them, but they were pretty small. Deck 8 is still way above the water, so they're a long ways down there.
They also have a lot of sculptures on that deck. It's really cool.
So we explored more places around the ship. There's so many nooks and crannies and lots of little things. And there's, of course, bars all over the ship. We're not going to show you all the bars and talk about all the bars and all the drinks you can get. Everybody does that. It's a cruise ship. There are bars. If you find a bar you don't like, just a few feet away, there's another bar. You can walk a minute in any direction. If you walk more than a minute and you don't find a bar, it's because you're in the cabin hallway. Turn around and go to a different deck. You can find the bars. You know what's in the bars.
So that evening we had made reservations for the Italian restaurant. It's a specialty restaurant, so it does cost extra. It's Onda by Scarpetta. Beautiful restaurant, very calm, quiet.
So for appetizers, I got the fried seafood platter. It was a lot of food.
And I got the burrata and the prosciutto, which is also a lot of food.
And you also got the spaghetti.
I got a spaghetti as well, which looked like it was little, but the dish was deep. It was a lot of spaghetti.
It was a lot of spaghetti.
So by the time dinner came around, I had the veal. I was already full.
I had the New York strip. It was delicious and cooked perfectly again.
So we finished our dinner and we wanted to head out really quick because we were going to go to Icons, the show that night in the theater. And we didn't have dessert because we were stuffed and we were in a little bit of a rush. And so we get up because we're waiting for our waiter and he's like, wait, where are you going? Don't you want the dessert menu? And
He thought we were offended. And as with most cruise ships, the wait staff is excellent.
he just wanted to make us happy.
So he thought we were leaving because we were upset. But we were leaving because we were full and we needed to get to the show. So he was all right with that and he let us go.
He let us go. The show that night was Icons. It's singing, dancing, beautiful singing. I loved it.
They didn't want us to video in there, but it was a good show. We really enjoyed it. And then after that, we went back out to the Penrose Atrium and hung out, and they had a band there, and we enjoyed that. A lot of people gathered in there that night because that band was really good. And we hung out in there for quite a while.
And then that night at 9 o'clock, I think 9:15 was the glow party. So anybody who had dressed all in white went into the theater. So that theater is pretty cool because the floor transforms from seating to like a dance floor. So they can use it for multiple purposes, which is kind of cool.
We just went in there and partied down with everybody. We got right down in the middle of it. I mean, we were kind of in the middle of it. We were on like the third story, and I was zoomed in with the camera to the middle of it.
All by ourselves on the third floor.
We had a little dance up there.
Yeah.
We had a little fun. That was as close to the glow party as we wanted to get that night. But entertaining watching it from our point of view. People were really getting after it down there. After the crazy glow party, we went back out to the Penrose Atrium and hung out there and listened to the band for a while and settled there for the night. And we even did a little dancing up there on the, I think the third story there in the corner by ourselves.
I think so.
Got a little dizzy. And we called it a night because we were on vacation. And then, how am I supposed to introduce our next day if she's laughing so much? Join us for our next video, days 7 and 8 of our Western Caribbean cruise as we head back to Galveston. Quit beating the table, man.
I don't know what's going to be on that one. My cheeks hurt.